So I got one more short trailer to take a look at. We were just going to do the one, but then this one popped up today, and I wanted to check it out. This is what they're calling the mid-season sneak peek at Marvel Studios' The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's not really mid-season anymore. Mid-season, I think, would be the end of season, or episode 3 would be the mid-season, but okay, episode 4, whatever we'll call it that. But this is apparently going to give us, I guess, a sneak peek at what's to come in the next 2 episodes. If you watched my review of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that was one of the things I was wondering is, what are they going to do? They got 2 episodes to get this story really off the ground and going, because I do feel like I don't mind so much the pace it's going. I mean, I did with episode 3, but I don't mind so much the pace that the story's going at this point, but the pace that it's going and knowing that there's only 2 episodes left has me a bit concerned. I'm kind of like, what are they going to do in 2 episodes to not just tie all this up, but to actually have this arc, which at the end of last episode, that may have been the beginning of an arc. I don't know. We'll figure out. Maybe this trailer will shed a little bit more light on it. And apparently there is a big mystery cameo that's going to happen in episode 5, the next one in line here on Friday. So maybe this will shed a little bit more light on that. But let's check out the mid-season sneak peek at Marvel Studios' The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Steve believed in you. He trusted you.
Okay, this is our recap.
Why'd you give up that shield?
I did what I thought was right. The legacy of that shield is
He looks like the guy from Up.
complicated.
No.
I
new
am
cat, John
Captain
Walker.
America.
I think
I
this
know what
is
we have to do.
all stuff we've seen.
A word of advice then. Stay the hell out of my way.
Watch, it's gonna, like the last couple
We
of
left this country.
seconds of the trailer is gonna show something.
Shield or no shield,
But that's new.
I'm not gonna let anybody
pretty
tell
cool.
me I can't fight for it.
Uh-oh.
We don't want anyone else to get hurt.
Now there's that blood-splattered shield.
You don't want to do this.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so I guess that is where they're going with it. I was wondering if the whole John Walker thing, if that was the direction that they were going to go, if like him being the actual villain, which I don't know how. I like that. I think John Walker and Zemo, but especially John Walker, honestly, the new Captain America, I think he's the most interesting thing about this show, honestly. He's just a really like a really interesting character. They've shown you some of like his. I talked about this in my review of episode 4. He's the most interesting thing about the show at this point. We showed the humanity that this character has. We showed that he's not a bad guy. He's just a guy, and I really like how they showed he just wants to do good, but he can't. He's trying to racking his brain how to figure out how do I stand up to these. I'm just a regular guy. How do I stand up to these super soldiers? So, he does something in episode 4 to try and rectify that. And whether that's something he does is why another thing happens at the end of the episode or not is up in the air. But I was wondering if they were going to end up making him the villain. And it seems like, at least from that last little part there at the on the trailer, that they're at least going to fight. Or Bucky and him and Sam are going to fight John Walker. So I am curious, are they just going to kind of forget about the Flag Smashers and move on? Because I don't, there's one thing. I feel like they tried to humanize the Flag Smashers. They tried to say, okay, these are terrorists and we want to give them a human face and and have you sympathize with them. And I think that's okay. That's good. That's an interest. That's how you make interesting characters. But there hasn't really been any. They're still one note, even though they're showing us more about them. What they're showing us is still just really one note, and it's, granted, they're not saying we're just evil for evil's sake. They're saying we're doing bad things for the right reason, for injustice. We're fighting injustice, and that's it. That's as far as it goes. There's nothing else to them, and I'm like, they're kind of one note and, dare I say, boring, especially compared to John Walker. He's a compelling character that they actually made you understand why he was doing some of the things he was doing, and then he did some things. He made decisions that were, difficult decisions, and, some legitimate questions as to whether you would do this thing or not. And then as a result of that, what he ended up doing, that's like some legit compelling stuff. Like it looked like in the trailer there, he's still wrestling with, I want to do the right thing, but I'm not always making the right decisions, or how do I combat these things? That's what makes interesting characters. So I do wonder if they're just going to ditch the Flag Smashers, if they're going to try and not just make you sympathize with them, but all of a sudden make them not bad guys anymore, which they are. Okay, let's not forget the fact that the Flag Smashers in this world have blown up buildings with innocent people in them and murdered the shit out of a lot of people. So they are bad. They're bad guys. They've murdered people, innocent people. Regardless of if it was in the name of justice or not, or against injustice or whatever, they've murdered people that had nothing to do with it or that were innocent. So they're bad guys. Which really brings into a lot of question of the thing. I don't want to ruin it for those of you who haven't seen it, because it's still kind of fresh. The thing that happens in the end of episode 4. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of people are like all enraged about it online, or up in arms about it online, about how terrible it was. Not that the show was terrible, but this thing that he did. But there's this question you got to ask is, the person that he was doing it to, unarmed or not. I mean, how unarmed is a super soldier, by the way? But this person that it happened to was a murdering terrorist, was a terrorist that had murdered people. Yeah, his reasoning for doing it and what led him to it was more emotional, for sure, because of other things that had just happened. But it was a very human reaction. It was a human reaction for a human being that has just had this other thing done to them that could alter that. So, was it right? I'm not saying it was right, but it was understandable. And that's what's compelling about that character, is that we're having that conversation. When it comes to the Flag Smashers, you're not having that conversation about them. They're just doing stuff for injustice. They're just fighting against injustice. Good for you, man. That's, wow. What else you got? The John Walker character in that storyline here has been some of the most compelling stuff in the show. And honestly, if it wasn't for that, the show would just kind of be, because it's kind of, I don't know which way it's going to go. We're going to find out next week and the week after, I guess. But yeah, that's as far as that trailer, though. If you've seen episode 4, it didn't really give you much more besides that ending part right there where Bucky said, "Yeah, we do," and John Walker was like, "You don't want to do this." "Yeah, we do." That and like one other shot that I saw, the whole thing where Bucky was riding the motorcycle and like flung himself off. Those two things right there, I didn't really see anything new. I mean, there may have been like one or two other shots, but nothing big, nothing that really jumped out at me. That mid-season trailer, that was honestly, it was kind of pointless. That didn't really give us much more. If you've seen episode 4, that didn't really give you anything else. So take that as you will. So if you've already seen episode 4, there's not really a reason to watch that trailer. Even though if you're watching this, you just watched it, but you know what I mean. Anyway, I'm interested to see what they're going to do, who this big cameo, this mind-blowing cameo next week is going to be. That trailer didn't really give me anything, but not in the way that, a moment ago I was talking about that other trailer I reviewed, and I said, I like when trailers don't give away too much. Yeah, I don't want this trailer to give away too much, but it didn't really give me anything. I do want a trailer to give me a little something. And it was a 2-minute trailer, which I got 5 to 8 seconds worth of something out of it. So, I mean, you could have given us a little something extra. All the other stuff was from previous episodes. But, anywho, that's just my thoughts on it. we'll see where the show goes from here. Next week might just blow me away and make everything else just kind of fall in line and make total sense. We'll see. I am really curious to see what they're going to do with John Walker, and I'm also really curious to see what they're going to do with the Flag Smashers. Even though I don't find them to be very compelling characters, I am wondering what is their end game with them? What's the direction they're going with these characters? Because if they've been trying to make us sympathize with them, but if they try and, make them okay, hey, it's all right that they did this, I'm not going to agree with that. They're fucking murderers, okay? I mean, they may have been doing it their hearts may be in the right place, but they've done some fucked up shit, and they've done some things you usually can't come back from, honestly, on this show, and plus things that have been implied that they've done. But anyway, that's my take on it. We'll find out next week. That's the trailer, the mid-season trailer for The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Honestly, that trailer was pretty much in line with the show up to this point, just kind of, fine. It was good. Okay. That's where the show's been for me so far. Not bad, not great, just kind of, okay. And but we'll see if they can pull this thing out, if they can land the ending or land these last 2 episodes and just really blow us away. We'll find out. Maybe they'll leave an impression that this show was just amazing. You can do that with your last 1 or 2 episodes. We'll find out in the next 2 weeks.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Jarcast Movie Podcast. If you like this and want more, then check out the Jacob Anders Review YouTube channel, where you can also find movie reviews every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. You can also listen to the entire podcast on all major podcasting platforms such as Spotify, Google, and iTunes. So if you prefer audio, whichever one is your preferred, check it out there. Once again, I really appreciate it, and thanks for watching. And as always, stay sexy, YouTube.